Okay, we're here with Trion's End of Nations, a new RTS, massively multiplayer game for the PC coming in this summer. We're here with Dave, and we're going to get a bit about the game right now.
Thanks. Well, it was good to have everyone here. Today we spent a little time playing a couple of different maps of End of Nations. And End of Nations, as you said, is a real-time strategy game in a persistent online universe that's always on and can support huge numbers of players. So, in the matches that we played today, I think the largest was kind of a mid-sized match. It was a 30-player game that we were in, and it turned into a pretty big fight fest, I thought, actually. So the key to End of Nations is that it's a persistent game. It's always online. You can jump in and play at any time. It's free to play, so there's no barriers to entry. You can just download the client and start playing for free. And it's about massive scale, so you can bring in huge numbers of units, huge numbers of players into these maps, up to 56 players in one of our maps and several of our maps. As well as customization, where you have a huge variety of different vehicles, and you can modify those vehicles with particular capability mods and skins and et cetera, et cetera. So really the sky's the limit. We think there's in excess of 10 million potential combinations of units that you can field at any given time.
Can you tell us a little bit about the game mechanics, the units and classes for End of Nations?
Sure. There's two playable factions in the game, the Liberation Front and the Shadow Revolution. Very unique and will align with play styles. So if you have a particular style, kind of hit and run style RTS play, you're going to want to go with the Shadow Revolution. If you're kind of a heavy brawler type of player, you're going to want to go with the Liberation Front. And each of these factions also has subclasses as well. So there's two subclasses for each of the factions that again kind of tailor to a particular user's style of play. And each of those classes also has a tech tree that's unique to it, where they can, as you go through the different levels in the game and you level up and you gain more experience, you can unlock in this tech tree different abilities, different turret capabilities, and different structures that can make you more and more powerful as you play through the game. And from the commander standpoint, there's kind of two commanders that are out there. There's a commander is you, it's who you are in the game and the faction that you're in. And there's also a concept of companies and company commanders. So as you're building out an inventory of different vehicles that you have, you can assign them to a company and put a commander in that company, which is effectively a hero unit that adds special bonuses and buffs to the other units that are part of that company. When you're in a battle, let's say you're in a real rock, paper, scissors type environment, you're in a battle, you're not well equipped to handle air. You bring in a knife to a gunfight, you can actually switch those companies out in real time and bring in a different group of vehicles to fight with so that you can counter what's happening with the enemy as you see them on the field.
And will commander classes be basically new profiles? I think I heard with the skill tree that, or the tech tree, that it would actually be unique to each profile that you make.
That's right. So you can have a number of different commanders on any shard, and those are aligned with a particular faction. So you can have one that's a Phantom class, one that's a Wraith class, one that's one of the two Liberation classes as well.
Normally, RTS games are limited in size. How big will End of Nations get?
So one of the things we're particularly proud of in the game is just how far it can scale. Because it's a client-server game, it can support a lot larger number of player units than your typical RTS games that you've seen and played in the past. So we've got a couple of different maps that support up to 56 players, which are they're very large maps to start with. They'll take a long time to just traverse across, but you can just get these enormous battles in there where there's 500 to 1,000 units that are in the field controlled by 20 of your favorite friends fighting against 20 of your favorite enemies, and mix and match those, and it turns into really epic battles. And what we find from a strategy standpoint is that teams that coordinate their arms well tend to be more successful. So if you're coming in as a heavy tank guy, I'll bring in air power to kind of defend you so that we're a well-balanced team. And then the way you go through and can interrogate the actual map, like let's take this strategic area before we take this one, so we have enough resources and we can bring in additional support, is a big part of how you win on those bigger matches.
We saw two currencies displayed in the game. How will those function for players when they go live?
So the way the business model works, there's two types of currency in the game. There's wealth, which is earned credits, kind of in-game money, gold, lack of a better term, that you can use to buy just about anything in the game. The exclusions to that are things that you can buy with real money transactions that are typically, or they're all vanity or convenience. So custom skins, custom portraits, those things are purchasable via real money, as well as boosts. So like I can increase my experience rate, I can increase the my luck in a loot boost, those types of things. But we wanted to keep it as fair-handed as we could. We absolutely don't want to have a pay-to-win game, so we're really steering away from, you can't buy a special unit that will make you better, faster, or stronger than anybody else in the game. You have to earn the right to be able to field these units, and you have to do that by playing the game.